Time I'd like to call the meeting to order. And since this is a special meeting, we need to go by the agenda. And our first item on the agenda is discussion and possible action on requesting from Morgan County Municipal Court to transfer Holly Bush School site property subject to approval from Kentucky State Board and KDE.
Okay.
Okay.
I've heard it.
Yeah, okay, I need a motion.
I'll make that motion, Madam Chair.
I have a second.
I'll
All in
second.
favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Our next item is going to be discussion and possible action on the treasurer orders. There were some items that was questioned.
These are the invoices on the items that were questioned. So if you guys,
You want to start with them?
Do we pay water and sewage for here?
yes, that's in there.
Okay, have we done that every year? Okay, so we have, that's what was on the thing that I questioned the other day. It went,
The Economic Development Board bills it. All of that's in there. They've attached all the invoices.
okay, we do it, what?
You have one copy of that?
It's in
Okay.
here.
It'll be making its way down, I guess, Gary.
So we do it once a year?
It's quarterly or, it may say on the bill.
Well, it seemed like to me that it was from July last year. Was it?
It's from July.
July.
Connie's got
Yeah. We're used to looking at something.
There was a question about desks and chairs at the elementary, but that's actually food service, and it was a typo. It was actually desk chairs, and they were bought for the girls to use on the serving line. Their chairs were broken, so I purchased them new chairs.
Okay, I think maybe, Madam Chair, a better way to go over this is to look at the things that you all put together that were questioned. I wasn't in on that, but and then go over them one by one. Because if I just get I think it would be,
Okay, I agree with you.
it's counterproductive to just get all these things.
I agree. Okay, so you want to explain, we'll go one on one, and you can explain each one of them.
That's fine.
I think that first one was on page 6, 2292. That was
The invoice for CASA.
Uh-huh.
Sorry for that.
It's a registration fee for a conference or training for an employee.
My question is,
That's it.
how does that, which, one of the stipulations which we hired our incoming superintendent is on perks, and, previously, the board has helped as far as education, as far as an individual to obtain a doctorate, which, the education of children, not adults. Second of all, why, as far as training session, and I'll just give an example. So we have this particular position here is asked, to me, that pertain to the position that this individual holds as far as financial, the site and looked at this particular workshop or training, which is meant actually for school district, school finance officers, and school attorneys. So why would somebody approve somebody that's not in that position? Like I would say, Mike's maintenance, why don't I send him to food service training? or if I'm a basketball coach, why would the board pay for me to go to a baseball clinic? To me, and like I said, we're in the business of educating children, and I'd just like to know how a person or an individual in this position whose job doesn't, it doesn't pertain to the training that's been requested.
So Mr. Horace, you're saying that the conference or requested us to pay for is not even in the job description of the person requesting?
Correct.
Thank you.
And
It's like finance, district financial, which I think this was for certification, being school finance, district school finance officer, which we pick up, I believe, 9 hours at this particular workshop. So what I can't understand, and I'm all for individuals, if you're in a certain area, I'm all for Mike going to transportation, maintenance training, or bus, whatever, to help him in that position. I'm all for it. I've even encouraged as far as teachers teaching dual credit classes. If they go and take classes and being reimbursed, if they get in a position or get certified to teach dual credit. But like I'm saying, as far as this particular conference here, I don't see the association of how the two, what's the term for it, is compatible, is that what I'm looking for, Nick?
Yeah, that works.
Okay. But, and then again, whose duty is it to, if Mike comes in and he wants to go to food service training, he's in maintenance, whose duty is that to, distinct, if that should occur or not?
well, the board's supposed to approve, correct?
I would think the superintendent would be in charge of that, and then it goes before the board as it did in the payment of bills, and that's when we would question, which evidently 2 or 3
Well,
did.
another thing was it on the, which you asked for, and I think it's, in which it's a good practice, and asking for those people that want to go to conferences or training sessions, before,
Yeah.
So why,
To be approved.
was that on a particular, was that on?
Was it pre-approved?
Was it approved by the superintendent?
There is
No.
a conference request form attached to the.
But I'm saying this form, or this.
Who has the paper?
Right here.
He's got one. The one that she gave
Here it
us.
is.
A paper like
The conference
this.
request is on the
The
back of the packet.
Was that on, which we get one every,
No,
which this is for?
I don't know if it's on that. There's a conference request form on the,
Okay, it's dated for February, but it was never brought before the board.
Well, my biggest question, and my biggest
For
thing
pre-approval,
is,
so
it's not associated, the training session's not associated,
Yeah.
has nothing to do with the individual position they're in. And that's my, like I said, if I'm a basketball coach, why would I sign up to go to a baseball clinic? Would the board approve that for me to go to a baseball clinic?
But even if it were in that field, it's still got to be approved by the board, and it wasn't. Even say if it was Mike, and Mike was going something for transportation related, and the superintendent signed, okay, said it was good, still has to be brought before the board for approval. This wasn't.
To me, it's taking advantage of the system. I know some people here, and you may criticize me, it's like I hear brought up all the time about welfare. People, and welfare is a good program, and it's for children. Yes, people do abuse that, but this board, this education, this is for children. This parents, the taxpayers of Martin County pay to educate children, and that's what I think this board is here for, to make sure those children receive the best education possible. And to me, and I'm for the betterment of teachers, going in training sessions in their field to help them teach. I'm for the betterment of bus drivers receiving training for driving buses. That's their field, that's their duty, and whatever, I mean, I'm for that, and I will, do anything I can help, but I just feel like I'm being taken advantage of in this situation right here. I feel the board, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Somebody
No, I
tell me
think-
if I'm wrong.
I think you're right, in that we were taking advantage of it, because it wasn't pre-approved.
I'll return to you.
And it's not, I'm not putting it at you, I'm just saying for anybody, and anybody in a position, whomever wants to go for training and it's going to help to educate or for our children or better our school system in her or his area, then I'm all, it's like food service. Hey, you come up, you want to go to some training that's going to help as far as food service for our children, and we want our kids to have that nutrition and eat the best they possibly can. I'm all for that. But for you to come up and ask me to go, you're in food service, and ask me to go to a maintenance training session, I don't know.
Well, the rationale,
Of course, you could work on your vehicle that you drive, I don't know.
So let me see the paper, though, the rationale for doing that is, it said it was according to board policy that this person go. If you here, Lawson, I can.
Now, somebody can tell me that this ties in with, that this particular training session ties in with
Yeah.
that position. I have no problem with it.
Right here, it has rationale for attendance, requirement of board policy 031912. Since when do we have a policy that requires somebody to attend training sessions outside the scope of what they do?
I'm not familiar with that particular policy.
Which,
but-
you know,
but if they are mandated to attend certain trainings every year,
Yeah.
and if it's not specified, I mean, it's your all's discretion. I don't have the policy in front of me. And
Well, I'll make a motion that,
what I would do is go through all these.
okay,
And once you get through them, if there's any you're not gonna approve, make a motion to approve all but the ones you're not going to approve, if
Okay,
there
so-
are any.
So what number was that? I gave that to,
2292. 2292 on page 6.
thank you.
Again, I'm not trying to be difficult or contrary, which I'm for, but some things that, it should be open, it should be, like Mickey's always preaching, everything transparent, and if it's needed, yes,
Okay.
What was the next item number? that
The
we
next
were
one
looking
is
at?
1733.
1733.
It's Magic Mart.
That is paid out of a program called Children's Incorporated, and it is a donation program. Sponsors donate money so that our family resource coordinators can purchase items for the students. That's what this, and these were primarily Christmas gifts and clothing and things like that.
So that was to a donation, that wasn't a cost to the board. Oh, okay, then. Anybody have any questions on that one?
no.
Okay. Your next one is 4848, is the Martin County Economic Development. It's on the water and sewer issue.
That's
Yeah,
utility
yeah.
bills for.
She explained that's
Yeah.
part of her, that's part of her utility. So our lease is just for the building, it does not cover utilities. It's good to know.
So are our water and sewer bills for the building, or are they split between those who occupy this building?
I believe it's
Separate meters.
Yeah.
So our power bill is $6,000 here from July until January, 6,000. So our power bill power bill of roughly about $12,000 a year on this building.
Our share
Our
of the
share.
power. How is that?
But two separate meters.
What does, is it, the invoices are there.
Oh, I didn't see it. Gary, don't bogart the explanations.
I remember.
So it looks like we pay 160, 34, 350, 22, 160, 34, 160, 32, 160, 32, 160, 32. This is for sanitation. Our monthly,
It's water and sewage and electricity.
and then we get a reimbursement. I'm really,
The reimbursement.
I really
I'm
need,
not- I'm sorry, I'm not real.
no, honey, I can't see well tonight without my glasses, and, see these,
Yeah,
what is
this
the
is,
reimbursement like?
This is what they're asking for reimbursement for. This is a breakdown from the Martin County Economic Development Board, and this is their breakdown. This is how much they've paid. This is how much they've paid and how much they're asking us to reimburse them for. That's our share of it.
So over here, what is this? Okay, wait, I'm adding things up. This
Sanitation.
column and this column equal this. And this goes to the total, and this is for sanitation, and this is for water.
Yes,
I see.
here's the breakdown of the power. And there's copies of all of the invoices that the
Okay.
county has paid.
Thank you, I learned something tonight. I appreciate it. Pass that back up.
She's done pretty good at her new job.
She is. And
Her fourth job, yeah.
I would like to apologize that we're taking up
Yes, we're
some of
sorry.
your valuable time tonight, but I really do appreciate you being here, ma'am.
I second that.
I said, I third.
I'll forward.
I had kind of actually said that we didn't, but I didn't know there was gonna be problems.
Even if you didn't, want to eat
Okay.
cookies.
Okay, bribery works. Okay, does anyone have any more questions on 4.8? 4.8? No, okay. We will go on then to page 10. And it's item 1578 for the,
The service office, the
uh-huh.
desk and chairs are really chairs for the lunchroom for my girls on the lunch. Did you have any questions on the other?
This is 1578.
Yes. Page
Thank you
10.
so much for giving me this copy and highlighting the bills in question. That really helps.
The desk planner, the planner calendar, that's one I got for the incoming superintendent to put on his desk and get him organized a little bit.
I'm sure he'll appreciate that.
I think everything else on there, the bus pass forms, those were for Warfield Elementary, and the rest of it is supplies for the central office.
This is Ashland office supply.
Service office.
That used to be Ashland office supply. didn't
No,
it?
there's still an Ashland
There
office
is?
supply.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, does anybody else have any questions on 1578? Okay, we go on to what, page 12? The registration, computer service, or,
Oh, do we have another one?
page 12.
Oh, that's just, that's
Okay.
actually just going back over what
Okay.
that's the codes that we,
Oh, okay.
that's what it is.
Okay, it was highlighted, I just wondered. Okay, there you have it.
So this last one was what? This,
It's just-
Yeah. Also, we need to discuss the Ross Torrent, because they are not on, they should have been on a line item by themselves. Because of questions on how much has been paid, I think that the treasurer thought that it would be best if they were approved separately. But anyway, they're not. So you all have copies of the Ross Torrent bills that need to be paid this time. And
Okay.
it's, I mean,
Have we not already
Well,
paid them more than
here,
what?
here is a breakout. Here, this
Okay.
is the amount that we have paid them so far.
So I was talking to
On the
another
high school.
architectural firm.
Okay, so
which
it's no 500,000.
No, that's on
Okay.
me. It's
Okay, okay.
There's a certain amount which, when they meet with the schematic design, which I was told by another architect, which was asking about this particular bill, that as of now, percentage-wise, what they've done, what they've completed, we should only owe them about
highlighted
$270,000.
what we have paid on the high school.
So what percentage are we, have they, which they're saying, what is it? The schematic design, which, is it complete? I mean, they brought some copies, it's not complete, right? Which they say, I guess, it's 95% complete, 15%, so 208, they've earned 198. So design development, 20%. What actually is?
We were told that in the finance class. What, can you all remember what they said? Just share it with me. We shouldn't start paying them until 20% was somewhere in there. And what did the architect tell you?
He said, once they completed the design should be complete, schematic design in a certain percentage, and he figured it up. Of course, he figured on a $32 million project that we should owe him $268,000. Once they get it completed, which it says it's only 15, or 95% complete, 15% of their fee, so. But design development. What's that actually, you guys know?
well, they're going on a 26 mil
60%.
estimate construction cost, I believe, Mr. Harris.
So how much, what'd you say the total we paid?
It's highlighted.
It's over 200,000. Look at the tape at your thumb, Roger.
Okay, so that's what we paid,
That's what we've paid so far.
218, so we're pretty much on schedule, okay. Because I've heard somebody, I don't know where I got the.
These are due.
These are new. These are
These
new
are-
buildings.
These are
right?
new.
Yeah, this is
Yes.
due, this is
That's
98,000.
what's due now?
No,
Yes.
98.
The bills that you have, the
So we've
the
paid
copies
them
of the
two.
invoices.
How much
We
of
have
it?
already paid that much.
218.
Yes. And so our billing.
So that's about what we owe.
Yeah, they want for
Well,
$98,000, $98,138.56, is that what?
that's what they're saying that we owe them,
Or-
plus the 218 we've already paid, plus 98, is that correct?
Or is it the $180,596 plus?
Those are two separate invoices.
These are all separate invoices. That's a lot.
Yes,
Well, I
those
see
are
two.
two separate invoices.
Two separate invoices, one for 98 and one for 96, for a total.
Yes.
No, now I see another for 100.
There's several in here.
Then there's one for 17.
Well, this one says total this invoice is $108,596.54. In total, this invoice is $17,641.75. So really, that's $98,000.
How much? How much you got
It's
there?
180 plus, $180,596.54 plus $17,641. It's about 198,000 plus.
I'm gonna go get those papers we got at that finance class.
I see two invoices, 180.
It's 115,875 more.
How much?
So,
115,875
That's how
more than what you have on your total there, Roger, on that little
218 plus 115, is that what we're saying?
875, yeah.
So that's probably about, I think we need our attorney to take it.
Yeah, I'll look at this and
Look at
see.
this and see if that's appropriate.
Okay.
Because it said the total of this invoice is.
Is that, it's more than
Yeah.
115.
Yes, that's $180,596 total to invoice, right here.
Yeah, that's just this invoice.
Yeah, but there's two of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, there's, well, actually, there's three.
Which,
Yeah,
you know, I talked a little bit to Mike Schmidt about this, of course, I brought up about what another architectural firm had said about what percentage, of course.
We don't need that.
According to Mike, is this, according to Mike Schmidt, Kevin, so he said the KDE wouldn't let them bill unless it was an appropriate percentage, is that?
I'm not familiar with your conversations with Mike. I'm gonna have to speak to Mike before we
Thank you.
act on this. I was not even aware of this particular issue. What I can do is, when I get out of here, I can call Mike and talk to him and
Well,
get back to you all.
You know, he was gonna check and make sure which he said, he didn't think KDE would allow, them to bill you unless.
So the amount of the bill is here,
Yeah.
does it comply with the percentage? Okay, I can run that by Mike. I don't know the answer offhand right now. I'd have to look into it and I'll talk to Mike.
I'm just going on what I've seen as far as schematic design, I haven't seen a whole lot. I don't know, what do you think, Kathleen?
There's an awful lot.
Sit down. I brought you guys a copy of that, remember? It says something in there. I don't know when I got to the table, I told you.
What I can do is I'll talk to Mike about it.
Okay, talk to Mike
I'm not
about
familiar
that.
with this invoice, this particular issue, but I'll speak to Mike about it
So
immediately when I get out of here.
we have paid, right, 218,000. So they're still saying that we still, as of now, we owe them how much more? You said,
115.
what do you say? 115?
Secretary says 115.
So this,
Rod, if we had to pay them 20%, it's 280 something, is it 265, 285? Minus that, we're paying them $115,000 over than what that 20% is. 115,875, matter of fact.
These three invoices are $296,376.
so that's what they're saying we still owe, 296.
Is that how,
They have sent these invoices for payment. Yes.
Okay, so that's-
And they have not been paid yet.
so that's how much they want right now, too.
So they want 218, they've already got 218, so they want 296 more. So what's that amount to? 296 plus 2. 500 and what?
It's almost 600,000.
Close to it.
It's not 600.
Yeah. 514,000.
Have you seen that much work?
Be over because I just.
Okay,
needed to
here we go.
501,
On page 30 and page 31.
Be over 514,000.
That's what I got.
514,000.
Yes, schematic design 50%.
And it's 95%.
But they got design development too, 20%.
Videos.
Construction documents are also on there.
Do we have them all? Because we didn't.
Construction documents, it says percentage complete 0.
So that's none.
Mhm.
So we got,
And then over here it says,
Maybe this is something that we need to have our lawyer take a look at.
Yeah,
I'll speak to Mike.
We need to have him look at it, and then I think we need to have a
Mhm.
explanation, comparing-
20%, yeah.
comparing the invoices in the different categories with what Ms. Walker gave us from the conference session on payment. And we need to get in line, or they need to get in line, or we need to get it, we need to both come together and
and make sure it complies with what KDE.
yeah, to comply with KDE. You understand what I'm talking about?
KDE is also on that paper.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's because of this paper that one of the documents that you got in your training session on this construction that makes me want to question that something is
Off a little bit.
might be off on what we owe versus the percentage of work in that particular category. That's what I should say. That makes any
I'll
sense.
speak to Mike.
Okay. And
So,
that's 5683? Or is that the check number? Just kidding.
so comes there. We agreed on everything except Ross Tarrant and 2292. So, do you want to approve for payment everything except those two at this time?
okay, what is 2292?
It's the
2292,
first,
that's
If somebody can,
Request.
you know,
education law and finance.
somebody tell me that's necessary for, you know, or if it,
If they are required to do annual training every year, and they have to go to these training courses, and that does contribute to it, if that goes to their annual requirement for the training they have to have, I'd recommend approving it if it's gonna go towards that annual training, because they gotta have it, and if there's no parameters, you know, maybe that's something in the future you could want them to take more zone specific, but they have these requirements, and that training goes towards this requirement.
well, I think we would all agree that if that be the case, then we could pay once we learn that.
And I don't have the board policy in front of me,
Right.
but there is training required.
I've got no problem with it, you know.
If it's like that. But you want to find out whether it is or not, right? Yeah.
You know,
So that's,
I can look at the policy also when I got it. here.
Okay.
I mean, it's probably just gonna be an annual training requirement.
so we can send Mike to food service training.
If there's,
I don't think this
you
is,
gotta have so many hours of training. you know,
Okay.
there's no-
But I don't think so.
this has,
You'd enjoy that, wouldn't you?
well, so at this moment, I think what we're going to do is going to approve 4 of the 6, I believe. Is that
Yes.
right, Madam Chair?
Yes, and I need a motion to that effect to pay everything except 2292 and the one with
And
Ross
on
Tarrant until
2292,
we get
you're looking
further.
at that and say, okay, I
explanation.
got one.
Okay, no,
I'd like to ask that you recommend me to tell Ross Tarrant to attach that invoice to the product.
okay,
So
okay,
y'all know
okay.
what the product is for that particular invoice. That was
Yes.
stapled to the
And
plan.
Yes,
we would
I
like it
agree.
like that from now on.
And I
Yes.
think that needs to be an order.
That would be an explanation, I
That way
think,
we
that
have
would
the
be.
order
yeah.
here and the product here and it's stapled, you know what you got. For
Right.
that kind of money, that makes sense.
Right.
that you go to.
I never like to buy a pig in a
We
poke.
haven't got a motion yet.
Right,
So do we make that motion separate, right?
yeah, that'd be,
Now, we can do it all together, I think. That Ross Tarrant give us when the invoice, he shows us what it's for, okay?
Attach it
A
to
more
the
clear
product.
invoice.
Whatever it is.
Okay. So, do I get a motion to approve for payment? All accept?
I'll accept the two.
I'll accept the two.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, I have a motion, I need a second.
I'll say.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Alright.
Opposed? Motion carries. And our next item is the discussion of possible action on hiring someone for maintenance of the ball field.
He was gonna speak with, this was on, we passed this the other night, but you were gonna speak with, well, for
We're in
sure.
negotiations with a couple of companies. The one company indicated that it'd be one price if he used his own equipment, and be another price if he used our equipment. He didn't get back to us this afternoon, it's supposed to be 3 o'clock, but we didn't get that far in negotiation. Number of games that would be required. And what you have before you is Robin Harmon Newsom, the athletic director, on maintaining that field, the requirements, so that you have some kind of specifications to kind of go by. She says that basically, on any given day, when there's an event at that field, that it would require somebody to start their prep about 2 o'clock every day on that. So she prepared that. It's a very good document that shows what is necessary, so that when this company comes in, they can say this is what we expect. So that's her document that she prepared, because she is kind of the housekeeper of the field. She goes down about 3 o'clock, say it's raining today, and if it's a rainy day, she'll make the call on whether or not the games are played and stuff like that, because she wants to keep the integrity of the field and what's going on up there intact. And it's very good to have one person that's directly over it. But she insisted that, like last year, we had somebody that did it before the games. It was good, things were marked. The athletic people, the coaches are trying to maintain the field. They're out there doing things, but this is something that is beyond what's required of them to do. Right now, we have the softball people that are lagging way behind, as are the middle school people. Because most of the time, when you have a ball game, the middle school's on the field, the high school's gone. And so they're not getting anything. So
Those coaches are gone too. So.
after discussing with her, we're coming in as maintenance to try to do the things that are necessary to keep the field operational, like scoreboards worked on today. We're gonna put bases in for, things like that. But that's her notebook. She did a great job on preparing.
Fancy.
So what do you need from the board as of today?
Just basically, there's a couple of people that are interested. Time is of essence on the day-to-day duties at 2 o'clock.
Oh, if it's
The
raining.
guy that did it
it's
last
early.
year, he is interested in doing it. It just, his price has to be consistent on, if he's using our equipment to be this much, if it's not. And we bought some pretty expensive equipment.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, so if you're using our equipment, he would use, or he or she would
Okay,
use
so
our
that
equipment.
would lessen the cost, but for some reason he wasn't able to get here about 3:15 was his price. We thought he would arrive at 15. But he has two different prices. He uses what we have. It's this price, but if he has to bring in his own equipment, it'd be another price. So it's gonna be within the guidelines, are probably less than what it was last year because of the number of days, I think, on the field. But Ms. Harmon Newsom did indicate there was a drastic need for that.
There is.
Like Ms. Walker said.
If we've got the equipment, we don't need him to bring his in.
Yeah. Well, we got the equipment, and I would rather the person not bring their equipment because of the
It'd be
crabgrass
cheaper.
and stuff like
Right.
that.
Oh, yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes, I hadn't thought about that, Gary.
Yeah, the cross,
Yeah.
well, the
I was
cross.
thinking
yeah.
cheaper.
We got that
You were
one
getting ready to say
thing
pollination
that's trying to
board.
avoid.
That was the reason we bought the drag machine,
Yes.
the, lawnmower.
Contamination.
And that's made clear by Ms. Newsom that this stuff is used inside, and these new equipment that's available to the high schools used only on the outside of the grounds around the field, so we have done that.
I also want to point out that when it rains, they might start, I also saw that in her report, as early as 9 a.m. You just can't get the field ready in 3 hours for you know, they take
And
the
she would make
field.
that call to them, you gotta come on in, we're having the game and what's right. It's a little more detailed than what Aiden thought, you know.
Yeah. It is, but they
For
need-
example, the other day, they have stuff up there at the field to use to absorb the water and for a game only.
Mhm.
Ms. Newsom had that readily available, and the softball team was trying to prepare the field for practice, use a whole lot of material.
Yeah,
She wasn't real happy about, you know, you're only supposed to use that for games, you know, well, we wanted to practice, so. But they did have more supply on hand, so it's pretty involved, the lights and all that stuff, there's things that control the lights. She's got mechanisms that turn them on and off, and also are set.
Mhm.
Well, with the time shift this week, threw everything out of kilter, so they're having to adjust that, and must go company somewhere.
It's a
So
big
there's all
deal.
kinds of little details that you wouldn't
You
even
just-
believe, I
you just
can't
don't-
even.
Yeah, you just don't get on the field and play ball anymore.
And
So-
somebody controls them by computer off somewhere with a, let's go lock them.
So it appears to me that what you're saying, Mr. Castee, is the day when Bill Ray Castee gets in his old Chevy truck and there's a chain hooked up to an old bed spring, and he said, "Boys, get on there, I'm gonna drag the field."
Those days are gone.
And that days are gone.
Fun times are over.
They're never gone. They're here. But I understand
But with the
that we are,
sophistication and the conditions of facilities you do have up there, I mean,
Yeah.
it's,
Listen, we have a beautiful field.
absolutely, absolutely.
Beautiful.
and you gotta make sure that the right people get on there. 'Cause
Exactly.
People will do things thinking
And
they're
mess it
doing
up.
something.
You mean get on the bed spring?
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Get on the field and
Well,
do
they
things.
will do things in order to have the game that could run the whole
Sure,
facilities,
sure,
thinking they're
Yes.
doing what's best at this point. I think.
Yeah.
So I
You
wanna
need
just
us-
just remind you of that light switch and that concession, so.
Yeah, we're gonna put a light in there so
I'll try to get that
that
taken
change
care
in
of.
the dark instead, or in the light instead of the car.
I mean, it's been marked there for years.
Dress out my car.
So you need a motion to hire someone?
I just, you know, I mean, I guess it's board direction to go ahead and authorize up, you know, to enter a contract. I'm sure you'll have to,
Mhm.
You've
Okay.
got a contract, continue negotiating, he can
Yes.
bring a contract to you.
Okay,
Yeah.
so, okay.
I'll make the motion. I'll make the motion.
What is the motion?
The motion
Hire
is for
someone.
him.
I can't hear all the way down here. That's why this board needs a semicircle.
Circular.
You don't need to have a straight table,
That
but,
horseshoe,
yeah, we need a horseshoe. What is the, I'm sorry, what is it
For
again?
Mike, for him to continue negotiation.
to get it started as soon as possible.
Yes.
But
Yes,
Kathleen,
as
I
soon
guess,
as
sign that
possible.
contract on behalf of the board to go ahead and get it started.
Yes.
So you're all on.
Okay, how do I make the motion? I'll make the motion to hire someone to provide maintenance on the baseball
What?
and
You
softball.
probably wanna just make a motion for him to continue, and then once he gets the contract, you'll have to approve the
Yeah.
Yeah,
contract.
okay.
So,
So,
The motion will be
A
a motion
to,
I
to
make the
continue
motion to continue
negotiating.
negotiations with.
Yes. Okay, we have a motion to that effect. Do I have a second? Second, all in favor say aye.
aye.
to what effect?
Okay,
Wait a minute,
that he's to continue negotiations to hire someone for the maintenance of the ball field at the best price possible.
and then we approve the contract.
We approve the contract, yes.
I vote aye.
Okay.
Or can we give Kathleen the right? I mean, would we have to have another special meeting for
I
that?
think we should see them too.
You need to approve the contract, so.
Okay.
Is this something that maybe we can make a phone call, to let everybody know what's going on? We've done it before, I think, on something like this. Well,
I mean, that's-
That's a good idea.
since it's gonna be a lower amount, I mean, it's not gonna be a humongous amount.
That's a good idea.
Okay.
So,
Okay, but the motion carries for, you will take care of it, okay? Our next item is discussion and possible action on approval of quotes for the Eaton Elementary volleyball material.
Over there. Do you have a copy of all of them, Mr. Cassidy? Here, you can have this, because I got these. And then that one that Mr. Robert.
Okay.
The one on top, that's the company that did, either at, when they say high school anymore, I don't know if they're talking about the high school or the middle school. When they say middle school anymore, I'm not real sure if they're talking about, because it was a few years ago they had that done.
Which is the one on top?
Well, the Toad Vine, that's who did the one either at the middle school or the high school, I'm not sure.
Well, Tobias done several projects in Martin County, bleacher wise and so.
Where are they out of?
There's
Louisville.
quite a bit of difference in the quotes and everything. Are we getting the same material for the top one, or we're getting on the bottom one, or is?
Well, I don't know.
Where are they from?
They're from Louisville.
Thank you. It doesn't have it on this, that's why I was just, well, it said Fisherville, and I didn't know where Fisherville was. So, okay.
Let's see, Warren's got the officials stands.
I don't think they need an official stand, but now, it's up to you guys.
There's quite a big difference in the price.
Usually you don't need an official stand in there.
Yeah, a lot of them don't have official
High schools,
stands.
yeah, they probably need
What's the difference?
An
I know
official-
that one is official and one is unofficial.
An official stand is actually a ladder, like a fancy ladder.
You climb up and you.
Yeah,
Okay,
you understand,
I
and that way they can
understand.
see the line.
I've seen those, okay, thank you.
Whether in the net or not.
But it's not, as far as Kentucky athletics go, it's not required?
I don't think for elementary, I'm not real sure.
Is this just for the materials?
Yeah. For what?
Not them coming and installing, that's just shipping us.
Well, the guy who said he would drill the holes, said he would install it. He is the guy that works for them. But now the holes were extra, because the last meeting, I thought we were gonna get our own people to do it.
Yeah, and the bit and the drill was $600.
Well, that was
Just couldn't see them
$850.
best, and then one, you know, that auger to go down in there when you had it, what, 800 to have him come and do it.
$850. I can give you that guy's name and number.
Yeah, I mean, Tobin's is the people that just did our bleacher inspections, they did our basketball goal adjustments, our Kentucky Corporation. And they're well respected in the state,
And do good work,
do great work, so
thank you.
I don't really, just know, it's good to have three prices.
And they are the ones who recommended this guy to
Yeah,
drill the holes. So,
so I'm sure you get A plus quality work out of Tobin, that's what they do, state bleachers.
there was some
For half the
concern
price.
about the net. I don't know what kind of net that is, if that's a hard net to put on. I'm gonna write that down.
Can I make the motion that we go with Tovine?
Okay, yes. Okay, he's made a motion that we go with Tovine for the volleyball package. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Have a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries, we go with Tovine. The next item is going to be discussion of early college academy.
Okay, that would be me. Did you guys receive the email from Mr. Goble? Okay. We met with Dr. Stevenson this week to discuss the update to our memorandum of agreement with the Early College Academy. Just to kind of give you a current update of the 10 kids that are in the program. They have done really well this year. All 10 kids are still a part of the academy. They have been very successful. They have really enjoyed the program. They will continue on next year with the same memorandum of agreement that we had. They will be going on, and they will continue next year for free, which was kind of the agreement that we had already stated. They are responsible for paying for their textbooks next year also. But they have really enjoyed the program. They have seen a lot of success out of it. I've heard a lot of things from parents. A lot of the students have already went to different universities and colleges and been offered scholarships, and they're only juniors. So I think it's been a great thing for our school, for our community. But after meeting with Dr. Stevenson, he said due to budget cuts, that the program now was going to have to be partially funded from schools if they wanted to continue to be a part of the program. He said that his school was going to be cut $1.3 million approximately. So in order for us to be able to stay in the Early College Academy for next year, the upcoming cohort, the new 10 students that we would be putting into the academy, we would have to pay for half of their tuition. So the total amount of the tuition is $44,000. So we would pay $22,000 of that for those 10 kids for the first year, and then the second year we would pay $22,000. So for the 2 years, it would be $44,000 for our 10 students to get an associate degree.
Now, this doesn't start until after this initial 10.
Right, our first cohort is going to go on for free.
Okay.
But the new 10 kids that we have been talking to and trying to get, selected for this spring, if we don't continue to be in the program, I mean, if we want to be in the program, we're gonna have to pay half of the tuition. Or we can go back and tell them the program's been suspended.
Begging the doctor's pardon, I sort of now I'm starting to question about the budget cuts that they will receive, since the most recent activity in the House of Representatives has produced a budget putting the money of the education cuts that came out of the governor's office and reinstating those budget cuts. I mean, reinstating money for education. This has been done, the last 3 days have been very, have changed things. Wouldn't you say that, Mr. Cassidy? So I really don't know, and maybe he knows more than I do, but I believe this budget now goes to a joint committee between the Senate and the House to iron out the differences, and then a final budget would probably be in about 2 weeks. Am I about there?
Yes.
And then I believe that we would see how much cuts, what is the top figure of the cut for a school like Big Sandy, and the money owed may be adjusted. That's my 2 cents.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Well,
Like I
The
said,
only issue that I think concerning us with that is, you know, last year those students had to be selected the 3rd week in April. You know, school goes out in the middle of May, and I guess he was just anticipating that that was what's going to be their cuts. And if we want to continue the program, he has to know for faculty and staff to make scheduling, because he is also going to have to lay off faculty in his, you know, in his in their facility.
Possibly.
Possibly, absolutely. But you know, we have to decide if we're going to continue the program in order for them to create schedules. I mean, we're starting scheduling at the high school in the next 2 weeks. We had students at the beginning of this year, 30 or 40 students that changed their schedules just to be able to hopefully be a part of the academy, because that was their mission, was to hopefully be able to allow them to continue on to be in the academy. You know, we had no idea that this was going to happen, that we were going to have to be able to.
And we still don't know if it's
We-
going to happen.
Yeah.
We
Well, I think
still
I-
don't know, but you know,
I think it's good for the president. It shows he's right up on top of things by planning this. I in no way am questioning his, you know, his planning for the college, because I think he's right to do that. I believe maybe it may change. It has a very big possibility of changing, because Democrats won 3 out of 4 of the special election. So.
but the only thing that I don't want to do, because I feel like that we've already done it, is promise these kids that we're going to be a part of the academy and then not let them. The application and selection process takes a month. So I need to know if we're going to be able to start that or not, because if we're going to allow this to continue, I need to go ahead, the kids need to go ahead and pick up applications within a week.
Sure. You know, I think the application process should continue, go on. However, I believe that there should be a message to these students that what worst case scenario that's going to happen, and a possible better situation that may happen as far as the funding of this program. Absolutely I do not want students to apply thinking that it's going to be one way when it may very well change. But I want them to know, and if, you know.
So you think we should go ahead and continue the application process, but give them the option, but just be upfront with them and tell them.
I think you should definitely be upfront
Just tell them that
with
we could possibly be suspended.
See, I don't know, I mean, and I'm just doing all the talking, and I don't like to do that, and I like to let my brothers and sisters on the
I
board.
think you should go, I think it's a great program, first of all.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of good things, and and parents have come up with insight, talking about their kids, so-and-so, he or she's applied next year for it, and they're looking forward to this, but I'm in agreement with Mickey on this. Of course, I think things are gonna work out, and what's Grady Stumbo, what's his?
Greg Simbo.
What is it about community that he's trying the bill that he's trying to put forth, about community colleges and
They
two-year?
want them all free.
Yeah.
That's-
Two-year junior college is free.
Well, I know, okay, I know the conversation
But I
that
think you should continue with the application and, you just can say,
They'll do that?
well,
So which presidential candidate says they'll do
What?
it? I'm kidding.
Okay, I know.
I said, which presidential candidate says they'll do that?
Oh,
Free college, first 2 years.
I've already seen it.
I was kidding.
Press, I mean, but I know conversation that I've had with,
They're wonderful.
the college, and it was, brought to my attention just the other day that this is just nothing's concrete yet. They're just looking ahead.
Right.
Yeah,
They just don't want to dump this thing on us, that this is a possibility.
they don't want to surprise you.
Yeah, by saying, okay, we've got 10 slots next year when we may not have the funding to do that. And there's other things in the work, along with what, Mickey said, as far as the money, things are working with corporate sponsors.
so we're looking at 20 kids next
So
year.
that could be it.
We'll have our current 10, and we will not have to pay anything for those 10, they will continue on. But he was pretty clear to me that if we wanted our 10 to continue, that we would need to pay half tuition. And he told me he needed to know soon, but
When did you talk to this?
I talked to him on Tuesday.
So our
Yes.
next regular board meeting, which give us some time, which is what?
And I
second
explained to
Monday
him that we
after?
had a transition with superintendents and,
Yeah.
things like that. But, he told me that the other 2 schools had already agreed to pay half tuition, and then 2 other schools had chose to suspend contracts for the year.
Mhm.
So,
And that's
I don't know, I don't see him going back and telling the other 2 schools that, well, you don't have to pay. I think,
Do you know Greg Stumbo?
no, not personally, Mickey.
What I said, Grady stuff.
Yeah, you said.
Yeah, but that's okay, Grady was a long time ago.
Grady stuff. Don't want.
You have some people that will go to battle for not only Big Sandy, but for education. And Mr. Stumbo is one of those people, and he's got a platoon behind him that when you start talking about cutting education, that platoon is front and center, and there's more volunteers getting in that army. And I don't know, I guess I'm giving they ought to take me and use me for their next commercial when they run or something, but I really have a lot of faith in our House of Representatives to do the best for education as possible. And with the restoring of the education money, I don't know what pocket that money, that particular program, what pocket that comes out of. But money has been restored, and you're going to have, it's going to go into committee with the joint, Senate and the House, and then things will be ironed out. And only then and only then will we know for sure.
Right. But like you, I don't know what pocket that money comes out of
Yeah, but
and what that's considered. I hope you're right. I would hate for the academy to have to be suspended this year. I think it's been a great thing for our students. I think it would be a great thing to continue on at the high school. We have 10 kids that'll graduate with free associates that'll go on as juniors. I don't want to have to see it, be suspended.
I don't think that we disagree on that
Right.
at all.
I just don't want to wait and not have the opportunity. He wanted an answer by Friday. when I met with him on
Well,
Tuesday.
ask these ladies and gentlemen
But
if they can give an answer.
But I told him that, I didn't know if that would be possible.
We're talking about around $10,000 a year.
22,000 for 10 kids.
That's what now?
22,000 for 10 kids.
And it would be 11 for 5.
11 if you wanted to only do 5 kids.
But that's if the funding isn't, restored.
He never told me about anything about funding being restored. He never mentioned anything like that because him and the dean, Myra, said that the other schools had offered to pay their part.
So that's.
I'm going to continue. I really would.
Can I ask her something?
Okay.
Maybe if you don't mind.
Yes.
Are there any other funding sources you're using at this time? To
No.
support the program?
No. When I wrote we did a dual credit grant, but it was a completely different, separate entity than
So the Mary Jo Young Scholarship, that's for.
that's for dual credit. Several of our kids received that and they got to take free dual credit.
The reason why I was asking is I was in a recent Title I meeting in Lexington, and other districts were entertaining the Gatton Academy at Western and Newton and Moorhead.
What Title I money?
They had, and Dr. Stevenson had offered some great ideas. He asked
That's
about
federal money that,
using politicians to maybe,
what's the?
Title I money, did
Yes.
someone say? Yeah, that's the money we use to hire another administrator at the, or let the high school hire another administrator the other night. Yeah, I remember Title I money.
The Craft Academy and the Gatton and Western. could
we do,
use
yeah,
that.
we have kids.
And what I didn't know at the time is, actually, private institutions get to federal use that. I've heard that before, I really hadn't seen the magnitude, but that would be one source, Megan, of problems
Yeah,
you would discuss that could be used to help you offset that cost. So
yeah.
just wanted to offer that, because other districts were talking to the guy over Title I in that meeting,
That's the first thing I thought of, was Title
talking about it, so it's something
I
that we look at, helps you.
Well, I say that we go ahead just and let you get the applicants, you get the 10 kids just like it's gonna fly. If a college is willing to supply half, and we can, see if the money's gonna come from these certain pockets, or corporate sponsors, I know that they're working on it behind the scenes, okay.
And the students will be responsible for our own textbooks.
They'll be responsible for.
They should have the same textbooks that these other students have.
Right,
Yeah.
but if they have any additional
If they have
or
any
anything that
changes.
should come up, they'll have to purchase.
Well, we'll cross that.
Right.
I don't think there's, myself, I don't want to use the word squander, I almost used it, well, I just did use it, so I guess I did use it. We find money for other things. We find money, just like this really stupid bill that we've got here to pay for somebody to go get training that they don't need. So what if we spend $10, $15,000? Okay. So what if we spend 10, is it a big sacrifice for the board to spend $20,000 a year to send 10 of our kids to get a free associate's degree? That's pretty good. I mean, if that's all that the board would be required a year to pay, $20,000, I think that's a good, at least it shows an investment in our kids instead of squandering it on
An administrator,
an administrator, correct, yeah.
which is twice as much that it would have taken to sponsor these kids.
Yeah. I
Because Title I money is supposed to go the best for the kids. It's not like free money that people say, oh, we'll just spend it this way and that way. The best way to spend it on the kids.
Yeah.
And money it's going to be appropriated for a third administrator at the high school instead of for 10 kids at the high school.
Big difference.
Well, I have no problem with, like I said, if we have the money, if the money is there, and that's our, when we get there, I got no problem. I'm sure, everybody on this board, like you said, it's money well spent. I think it's.
Well, the money should be
Which,
there.
I think we all were, I include myself, were part of getting
Well, let's
that.
use the rest of that Title I money first.
I pushed for early
Well, I-
college
I
academy,
agree.
no credit.
I agree.
Yeah,
Let's
I mean, we wasted 40,000, 50,000 of it. Let's see if they got any more.
There is no, amount yet. We have to approve that.
Yes.
We have to approve the job description and the amount that's paid, even though it is their Title I money. So we don't know how much is left yet. We don't know how much is going to be spent.
Well,
Maybe at the
there
next
there is
meeting
going to
we
be
can
a
request
salary though.
The job, well, next meeting, we need to request the job description and the salary paid for that.
Yes.
So, and
Well, the early college academy, nothing's really set yet, but you could update us
Whenever you, I mean,
Probably
next,
next-
He needs to
next
answer
week.
probably
tomorrow.
next week.
No, not, I mean, he would like me to tell him tomorrow if we want to
Nothing
participate or
contract.
suspend the contract.
We're telling you, we're for, I mean, I'm for.
we're trying to find it.
Well, we're trying to find the money.
Who's against it? And who would be against something like that, you know? No one's against it. It's just the idea of
Being
the
able to
funding.
fund it, right.
Yeah.
And, you
But we'll
know,
find a way to fund it.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
We will find a way.
you will? You
Well, that- I like
will
that
roll in your pocket?
statement.
We will try our best.
Well, the whole thing about, I know that
Dig
Dig
deep.
fund it.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
First, we gotta hire some more administrators.
When the budget comes up, we can go through some of this stuff and do a work.
well, we'll find us
Try
$20,000
to,
well, we'll find us $20,000 somewhere. We have to.
try to. We will try.
This is discussion, it takes no motion.
Right, just
Yeah.
discussion. Okay, thank everyone for coming out. On this beautiful afternoon.
Hang on a second, we did request, and I didn't see it on the agenda, I thought that we requested that the thing with Dr. Laney the other day, that our instructional supervisor, that person be here we did ask that it be done today, didn't we?
What would be done?
I don't
That
think
the person, you know,
formal request was made.
yeah, instructional supervisor, the whole thing with, you know, for the district, the thing with Dr. Laney the other day is really, you know, it was, you know, we give him a rough time, just finding out that
I didn't give him
30-some
a rough
seniors.
time.
Huh?
I didn't give him a rough time.
Well, I thought it was at the meeting. No, you
You
didn't.
said we gave him a rough time, I don't know.
Well, I did. I guess
Oh,
I
okay.
did. Because I
Thank you,
could- yeah,
Gary, for the
okay.
correction.
Yeah, I did. I gave him a rough time asking. But I thought that person was gonna be at the meeting here today to let us know.
You did request that, I remember.
Okay.
We did request that,
Yeah,
we did.
that wasn't on the agenda.
I think he had a prior
He's at the
engagement.
state tournament.
I don't know,
Okay.
I really don't.
On our diary. On mine.
Academic or athletic? I'll ask him.
But at this time, I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I've got a motion to adjourn, I need a second.
I'll say.
All in favor, say aye.
I'm sorry, yeah, I didn't mean to say.
No, I mean.
I